Most people wake up every day and live on autopilot. Same routine, same thoughts, same excuses. Days turn into months, months into years, and one day they look back wondering where their life went. The 1% don't live like that. They live with intention. They understand that life doesn't change by accident. It changes by decision. And the most important decision you will ever make is who you choose to become when no one is watching. The real difference between average and exceptional isn't talent, money, or background. It's how you think when it's hard. Anyone can feel motivated when everything's going well. Anyone can feel confident when results are coming fast. But the true test of mindset is what you do when progress is slow, when doubt is loud, when no one is clapping, and when quitting feels easier than continuing. That's where the 1% separate themselves without announcing it. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They move in imperfect ones. They don't wait to feel ready. They move while they're afraid. They don't wait for clarity. They move through uncertainty. While most people wait for signs, permission, or guarantees, the 1% understand that clarity is built through action, not before it. They take responsibility for everything in their life, not because it's fair, but because it's powerful. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, people, or timing and start owning your choices, your life begins to shift. The 1% don't live in denial. They live in truth. They know that comfort is addictive and excuses sound reasonable, but both quietly destroy potential. They don't negotiate with their discipline. They don't lower their standards to match their mood. They train themselves to move forward even when they don't feel like it. Because they understand something most people avoid. Feelings are temporary, but discipline builds a permanent future. While most people chase quick pleasure, quick validation, and quick results, the 1% build for the long term. They are willing to look foolish at first. They are willing to struggle in silence. They are willing to be misunderstood, doubted, and underestimated because they know that the price of growth is always paid up front. They don't need applause to stay consistent. They don't need approval to stay focused. They don't need validation to stay committed. They measure their progress in quiet wins that no one else sees. Waking up early when it's hard, staying consistent when it's boring, choosing discipline when comfort is calling. Hey, if you're still here listening to this, it means you're built different. Most people don't even make it this far. So real quick, if this is hitting you, make sure to subscribe. It helps a lot, and it tells me to keep making more videos like this. All right, back to the video. They respect time because they respect their potential. They know that every wasted hour is a stolen opportunity, not from the world, but from their future self. They don't see pressure as punishment. They see it as preparation. They don't see resistance as a signal to stop. They see it as proof that growth is happening. Failure doesn't break them, it sharpens them. Every loss teaches them where they need to improve. Every setback forces them to strengthen their mindset. They don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" They don't measure life by comfort or convenience. They measure it by evolution. And here is the truth most people never fully accept. Your life does not change when you feel inspired. It changes when you commit. When you show up on tired days, when you stay consistent on boring days, when you keep going on hard days. That is where the real transformation happens. The 1% don't wait for confidence. They build it through action. They don't wait for motivation. They create it through discipline. They don't wait for the world to believe in them. They decide who they are before the world agrees. And that decision changes everything. Because once you decide to raise your standards, your old life cannot survive the upgrade. You start to feel uncomfortable around your old habits. You start to outgrow old conversations. You start to feel the gap between who you were and who you are becoming. And that gap is painful, but it is also proof that growth is happening. The 1% understand that success is not loud at the beginning. It is quiet. It looks like repetition. It looks like routine. It looks like doing the same simple things over and over with relentless consistency. While others chase breakthroughs, they build foundations. While others look for shortcuts, they master the basics. They understand that small actions repeated daily compound into unstoppable momentum. You don't wake up one day and become powerful. You become powerful by doing powerful things when no one is watching. You become disciplined by choosing discipline when it's inconvenient. You become confident by keeping promises to yourself when it's hard to follow through. The 1% also understand that fear never fully disappears. The difference is that they stop letting fear be the decision maker. They feel it and they move anyway. They feel doubt and they act anyway. They feel uncertainty and they build anyway. They know that courage is not the absence of fear. It is movement in the presence of fear. And every time they move despite fear, they expand their identity. They don't just build success, they build self-trust. And self-trust is one of the most powerful currencies in the world. Because once you trust yourself, you no longer need the world's approval to move forward. The 1% don't see obstacles as proof that they are failing. They see obstacles as proof that they are on the right path, because comfort never builds strength and ease never shapes character. Pressure does, resistance does, struggle does. The fire that most people run from is the same fire that forges the strongest individuals. And here is the hard truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is supposed to. This is your path, your responsibility, your opportunity. The moment you fully accept that, you stop waiting and start building. You stop wishing and start working. You stop hoping and start acting. The 1% don't outsource their future. They don't depend on luck, timing, or rescue. They depend on effort, consistency, and standards. They understand that goals don't create identity. Daily habits do. What you do every day becomes who you are. If you train distraction, you become distracted. If you train discipline, you become disciplined. If you train excuses, you become average. If you train commitment, you become dangerous in the best possible way. The 1% don't ask, what's the fastest way? They ask, what's the right way? They don't chase milestones, they chase mastery. They know that real power is built slowly and quietly. And when results finally arrive, they don't feel lucky. They feel aligned. Because their external life finally matches the work they've been doing internally for years. And there will be moments when you feel behind, moments when you feel invisible, moments when you question if the work is worth it. The 1% expect those moments. They don't panic when they arrive. They understand that doubt is a normal companion on an uncommon path. They don't let temporary emotions override permanent goals. They don't let today's mood cancel tomorrow's future. And maybe the most important thing the 1% understand is this: success is not about proving others wrong. It's about proving your future self right. It's about becoming someone you respect when you look in the mirror. It's about knowing that you didn't betray your potential for comfort, distractions, or excuses. It's about knowing that when life tested you, you chose growth instead of retreat. The question is not whether you have potential. You already do. The question is whether you are willing to build the discipline required to unlock it, whether you are willing to be uncomfortable long enough to become unstoppable, whether you are willing to outgrow the version of yourself that wants to stay safe. Because the 1% mindset is not something you were born with. It is something you earn through choices, standards, and consistency. Every day you are voting for who you are becoming, with your habits, with your focus, with your actions. And one day, those votes will add up to a life you recognize, or one you regret. The choice is never made in one big dramatic moment. It's made quietly, every single day. So the real question isn't whether success is possible. The real question is whether you are willing to become the person who makes it inevitable.